based on how you mix it, you're opening yourself up to more liability when it comes to that. If they mix wrong, dude, so much damage. At 200 spray clients, it does make sense to buy a tank. If the goal, maximize profit, be hands-on, so it's like $160 per application, and they're literally there for 5 minutes.
My goal this year in a bank account to be able to afford this is 120K. Currently, I'm at 105, pretty much there at September right now. Feels crazy. I've never had this much money in a bank account before. It's pretty nuts. You got yours from, and wonder if it's worth it because I can now start doing liquid aerations. Get your thoughts on that.
How many clients are you at right now from on the weed control side?
Close to 200.
And have you sent out an upsell to pre-book the aerations yet?
No, not at all.
I would probably test that, but honestly, it depends on what your goal is. Obviously, your goal is to have multiple locations. What I will tell you that we are doing is we are getting away from the tank spraying. I think the tank spraying is good if you have and want one big location. It's very complex. It does bring inventory and supply costs down when you do that, and you can make way more money on fall aerations and all this like fun and great stuff. But what comes along with it is the maintenance of the oil changes, different filters. You got to clean the tank depending on what you're spraying. You need to maintenance the hose. Like every year, you got to kind of the gun acts up. Sometimes things like that will occur out in the field, so it does create way more complexity. We are not buying any more large spray tanks for our new locations. We have grandfathered in our main location, and every time the spray season comes around, I kick myself in the foot, and I'm like, man, this is exactly why we need to go to full granular, just because I want to build a simple business, right? I guess it depends on like what you want, which I know it is to do multiple locations, but if that's the case, dude, honestly, I personally don't think the tank would make sense. Like if you really want to build a business that runs without you, I think the tank just adds so much more complexity. And then in the wintertime, you got to worry about it freezing. Like there's a lot of stuff involved with it. I mean, I can give you the schematics on the tank that we have and like what we paid for if you still want to consider that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm just gonna listen to you.
What's that? You said you'll
I'll
still listen?
no, I said I'll just listen to you. If you don't think if you're moving away from it, you feel like it's not worth the maybe slight increase in efficiency. I mean, I'm assuming there is maybe a slight increase in efficiency, right? Using a hose versus granular for pre-emergent, or maybe it's the lowering in cost of chemical potentially.
That's the big thing. So it significantly drives product costs down when you go liquid. So like let's just take like fall pre-emergent right now. So we're going in the fall pre-emergent scenario. I have the main location gonna spray liquid prodiamine, and then I have my second location push spreading 007 with prodiamine. Okay. And both ideally will get similar, if not same results. If you're just comparing that, the product cost significantly cheaper. I mean, I'm just spitballing here. The prodiamine cost on one like same volume might cost, I don't know, like $1,200 in bags because you might need a few pallets of them like we do. Or if you go liquid, it might only be $500 or $600. So like, okay, cool. Like you're saving $500 or $600, but the additional headache with now you have to train an employee twice. You have to train them on how to push a spreader in the summer with fertilizer because you're not going to spray fertilizer down here in Texas because if they don't water, it'll burn the lawn. That's why you do the slow release granular. And then there's just like a lot more complexities. You got to worry about it in the winter when it freezes. The tank can freeze, so you got to wrap the pump. You could put winterizer in it, but again, like to teach a GM that this stuff at scale, it to me doesn't really make sense. So much so, like even Larissa is like she's hitting me with all these questions, and I'm like in my mind, I'm like, we've been doing this for 5 years, like we should all know this, but it's not that simple. It makes the business more complex. As far as a speed standpoint, though, which is what it sounded like you were like mainly concerned on, is like, isn't it faster to pull hose? Not necessarily, based on how you mix it. So we don't actually mix weed control inside of the tank. You can if you want, but again, you're opening yourself up to more liability when it comes to that. If they're mixing weed treatment inside of a large tank and they're blanket spraying lawns front, back, side to side, like that is going, if they mix wrong, dude, so much damage. So much damage. Like if you put a little bit more pre-emergent than it needs, it's not the end of the world, or like less, right? But like, yeah, if they do that with the weed control. But my last applicator, who was our applicator for a year and a half, almost 2 years, solid dude, who he moved to Louisiana. He told me and was like dead serious about this. He says that the push spreader is faster. I'm like, I don't think so. Like when I was pulling hose, it was easier. I thought it was faster. So I think it really is just depends on the person. I think you can get similar, if not same results with both ends, but from a simplification standpoint, scaling where you don't, if that is your goal, if you don't want to be there, I would not recommend to get a tank. There's a nice upside. You can do the spray or the fall aerations, and that's great. And what we're going to actually do this year is we're going to have the second location borrow the spray tank. So that way in one day, he's going to schedule all his aerations, just work a 10-hour day, get them all done, make a ton of money. You'll make a ton of money, but it's only like one day, you know. But the tank we bought, it was $7,500, 200-gallon space saver from Ewing. And yeah, I mean, the tank's probably paid for itself like 5 times because we've had it for, if not more, probably 10 or 15 times over. Probably more than that, actually. But yeah, there's just a lot more moving parts, a lot more complications. We personally, the second and third location will not buy tanks.
Right. Well, and then plus on top of that, you got to, whenever you take it off, you got to store it somewhere. That's space being taken up throughout a certain part of the year. I mean, unless you just decide to keep it on there full time. But if you could take it off, you get to use it also for mowing if it needs it. If it's like dead, another truck, 2 trucks break down, we need that truck. It's like, okay, we can use it for many different things.
Yeah, it takes about 3 guys to move the tank, even when it's empty. So
Wow, yeah.
it's not like it can be done. And in fact, one of my team members actually got hurt one time when we were moving it, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like,
Ah,
just leave it in the truck. It's fine, you know. But I think we were changing trucks, spray trucks. So yeah, you know, depending on your goals and what you want, I'm willing to pay more money in product costs for me to significantly decrease the amount of headaches in the business and significantly decrease the amount of training, because there's more training that goes involved. I mean, the applicator has to recalibrate themselves. Like it's a completely different application from push spreading to spraying. You got to manage the liquid in the tank, and then if you run out, well, then theoretically, and to be honest, our applicator, even in the fall pre-emergent right now, that's spraying from the liquid tank, they still bring the spreader and they still bring extra bags, because sometimes they
yeah,
put too much product down and they run out and they still got 5 lawns left. So like there are like, it's just like, hey, why don't we just push spread every lawn and not have these problems, you know?
sure.
But if the goal is one location to like maximize profit, yeah, then do that. But
Yeah. Yeah, and I think more just curious in regard to the adding like liquid aeration, because I don't know what you bring in from that, but I'm assuming you could bring in some revenue potentially that might make the purchase of it worth it. I don't know. It's
yeah,
kind of
that was the first thing. So like at 200 spray clients, it does make sense to buy a tank. If the goal is to maximize profit, be hands-on, more hands-on, yeah, 100%. That I would give you the green light. Like at 200, look like that would make sense, because you can send one upsell out on the aeration. So what we do is we charge double what the spray is. So like our average application down here is $75, maybe 80. So it's like $160 per application, and they're literally there for 5 minutes.
yeah,
5 minutes, because they're not spraying any weeds. They're just blanket spraying it. I'm telling you, they're in and out in 5 minutes. I've seen that on insect control too. Oh, and then that was the other thing. If you offer insect control too, you can use the tank from the insect side of things. But like it is, yeah, it's just more,
I see.
yeah. The problem is like in Texas, if we could fertilize, if we could spray our fertilizer, I would just go full liquid and just make it simple. I'd cut out the spreader, but I can't.
Yeah,
And so unfortunately, because I can't do that, then we're forced to go full spreader, you know, just to simplify things. It's not the
yeah.
best scenario, but at scale, I think it is.
Well, based on what you're saying, it's gonna be a no for me, I guess. I'd rather just simplify and scale faster by having a simpler business.
Yeah, I think that
And I
we're
mean, I'm assuming like the amount of revenue you could bring in from like aerations is nominal, like it's very small.
that's actually a good point that you brought up. So when I pulled a report on the percentages of revenue per service. So aeration, I think it was like a 1.5% of the revenue. Super small,
Yeah,
So like,
10,000.
yeah, yeah, if that, maybe 1%. That 10,000 actually seems kind of high. I think we do aerations for like 3 days. Let me see.
Yeah.
160. I think they do like maybe 20 lawns a day. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd rather just sell more projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could just sell more projects and not have to deal with all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Second location questions. I think actually I kind of want to pull up my text message with you to try to continue that. But you brought up the largest expense on a profit and loss statement is labor. Recommend keeping that as low as possible. I definitely agree with that. I guess what you're saying is I should get that general manager to be as busy as possible out in the field.
Yeah. So the requirement or expectations that we set for our general managers is they are required to do 30 budgeted hours per week on top of their additional duties. Dispatching and routing is an additional duty of being a GM. Now, the only time that I would maybe be okay with them not hitting 30 budget hours is if they have a lot of estimates. But what we do is I just give them 0.5, which is 30 minutes budget time for each estimate. So like on average, I think our estimators will do like 12, maybe 12 to 15 estimates a day. And what that process looks like is they go out, they do the estimate, and then they are required to get back when they get back at the end of the day to call every single one of them that they did that day. So even though the estimate itself only takes 5 minutes, maybe 10 max. Plus, you have drive time in between. But like the estimates themselves don't take very long. It also includes the follow up call of the pending estimate. So that's where we get that 0.5 budget hours.
Yeah, because I know we spoke about this previously where I said, hey, just do 0.25 per drive-by estimate. That's what we do. What I have done with Gabe in the past, but that's interesting. Yeah, bringing it up by another 0.25 for the call.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And most of the time,
interesting.
like 12 estimates on their route, like, dude, they're done by like 11 o'clock, but they still have to go back to their office, quote unquote, and then call those 12 to 15 to try to sell them over the phone.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So just to give you some context, my goal this year in a bank account to be able to afford this is 120K. Currently, I'm at 105, pretty much there at September right now, which feels crazy. I've never had this much money in a bank account before. It's pretty nuts, but almost there, right? I'm know we'll hit probably more than 120K this year. I still want to run it lean and be smart with my money
Mhm.
because hearing from you uh, multiple times is that it's very expensive and you're going to lose money likely. I want it to be ran as lean as possible, and of course, just not cost us as much as possible, which I know is not probably not easy.
Mhm.
And maybe coming from you, someone who's done it now 3 times, I guess. What are your best tips?
So that 120K, is that in the like first locations account?
Yes,
So what was your peak revenue at this year monthly on that?
60,000.
So you would want to probably leave that in there. So then what you're saying is you're going to have 60K to deploy for a second location, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's doable. Okay, so to keep it lean, I mean, as far as expenses go, labor's your biggest expense. If I were you, unless your territory is like set up where it's like right next to your shop where the new territory is going to be, I mean, then you can maybe run it out of there. But it to me, what I found, because I did this before, it makes sense to get a storage unit like smack dab in the middle, like location, location, location. That's the most important thing. That will keep your labor costs as low. I'll pay $400 a month all day for storage unit space to keep my labor costs down all day. Like to me, that's an easy trade. As far as like, okay, so the question is, how do you just keep it lean as possible?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Um, so you're not planning on, are you planning on hiring an office person or you're still going to go the call center route?
No, so thinking about hiring my mom, funny enough, but somebody or my mom, whoever, I will need to because we're at 500,000 this year. We're probably gonna go up by quite a bit next year, and I'm gonna need that help for sure to be able to scale, especially.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. If you can get your mom, because she'll help you work the kinks out and she won't look at you any different, obviously. I think that would be good. Yeah. I mean, is like keeping the cost down. I mean, the truck setup and all that is going to be about $20K. I mean, you buy a $10 to $12,000 truck, then you wrap it, that's 14, and then you outfit it with the equipment, so that'll be about 18 to 20. It really depends. Like, are you already like, do you have any customers in that new territory right now?
No.
Okay, that's to me a big red alarm, because you're really going to be banking. The right way to do this is to acquire at least 30 budgeted hours for that GM, or you if you're going to be the one that's growing it, which means like probably 30 to 40 customers at a minimum, like 40. Like we got to get 40 recurring weekly or biweekly customers out there just to start before I would like pull the trigger on all this stuff. And what I mean is like pull the trigger is like get the storage unit. You really need ideally a truck, probably two, to actually get profitable. But if you slow play this and open up the second location with 0 clients today, let's say you didn't get any all winter over there and you started March 1st with 0 customers, right? I don't think I would buy 2 trucks over there to start, which is what you're supposed to do. Because if you only buy one, that truck will only get you about 20K a month, like at max capacity. So like you're already setting yourself up for that entire year. If you don't grow past that, you're going to burn money. You're going to burn money for 12 months.
Right.
Until you get to 2 trucks and really 3 to 4 employees that you're able to get all that out, you are going to burn money. Strategically, I think the more kind of better move would be, even right now, is to expand the zip codes on SEO, create the Google My Business, get as many reviews as possible, start potentially you go out and maybe do some door hangers because you don't want to pay people and just keep burning your pockets. And like I think a win for you would be to get 10 to 15 recurring customers like this year, like in the next 90 days. Even though we're past midsummer, even though it's fall and it's September, like we have to figure out a way to get 10 to 15 recurring customers for me to feel better about like giving you that green light to be like, yeah, let's go full in on this. Because if you don't have any recurring customers come March 1st and you pour 20K into marketing and you go out and buy a $25,000 truck, which is 55K total, that you just burn through all your money, you're going to keep burning. Like you're going to keep burning that money throughout the season, unless you're the one doing it. But the flip side of this is too, you don't want to just abandon the golden goose egg of your main location and have a GM that's never run it before, because now you're juggling 2 things and it's like, and then you're a little bit strapped for cash, right? So like, I think the like main priority, like if you were to ask me like, what's the one thing, it would probably be like right now, like to just start to service that area with your main location, get 10, 15 customers. Is it going to hurt the guys P for P? Yes. Is it going to be not as profitable? Yes. But the goal is to expand and open the second location in spring. And it would feel much, much better if you had 15 recurring customers to do that. Hey, real quick, my business partner and I built a private school community for people just like you, trying to build their home service-based business from the ground up. We managed to build a 7-figure lawn business from the ground up, and we're sharing all of the SOPs, documents, and templates and systems inside of our coaching program. You get access to us, so click the link in the description below. Let's scale this thing together.
Yeah, I haven't been taking clients there. Like we actually get a lot of lead flow. It was funny. We actually had a instant pricing form come in accepted today from our new service area.
Mm-hmm.
I've been declining them though because it's far. Like it's about 25 minutes away from our shop.
So what you could do, and that's valid, I'm sure a lot of people have this, I would still take them and then you go do them on a Saturday. You come in on a Saturday or during the week. Whenever when they get done at 2 or 3 o'clock and they park the truck, now it's your time to get out there. And it's going to stink, obviously, because you're probably going to work longer days and stuff like that. But if it's not profitable for the crews, then that's where you just step in and kind of cover in on that. And then you might work that location 4 hours a week, right? Like, and have 3 or 5 customers out there that you mow, and you only do them on Saturdays, or you only do them 1 day a week in a certain time frame. And that might be like, maybe your crews get back at 2 p.m. Okay, cool. So you got three 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. to get the work done. And then it'd be 1 day a week you would schedule, no matter where they're at in the territory, all of them are scheduled on that one day. It's not going to be efficient, but it's going to get you started with recurring customers that would make me feel way better to start that location, dude. Because you're gambling a lot. One or two marketing things that don't go well in the spring when you drop 15 or 20K on it, which I wouldn't pour that all into one avenue. Like I would spread it across like EDDM, door hangers, Google ads, Facebook ads. You're going to spread that out, right? 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, and then see which one. Oh, snap. This one's really working. Let's put 5K on that. Like it's working. Let's triple down on this. But one or two hiccups on that, like you might put 5K on that and then it flops and you're like, oh, that was weird. Maybe it was just the neighborhood that really popped off because we went over here, but nothing happened over here. But one or two things like that, and that really sets you back. And the last thing you want to do is really like start from zero. Because I'll tell you this, our Salina location this year had 65 recurring customers at the beginning. Right now they have 107. So I mean, rough math, maybe 55 customers, 60 maybe. And we poured out probably about 15K in marketing. So we got 55 customers and spent 15K. But even then, if you ran the same numbers and ran that same scenario over there, you would still really only be at like, I mean, you'd probably be at 2 trucks. You'd probably be running at 2 trucks for like 3 months. But like at that point, it wouldn't make sense to buy the second truck. I would probably just max out that capacity and then raise prices. You know what I mean? So that way you're not like burning your pockets and you can maybe hopefully just break even on the first year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, 55 customers for 15K.
Yeah. So let me actually do that. Let me do the math.
Really expensive. Why was it so
Well,
expensive?
we had more, but obviously we raised prices. Also, well, okay, yeah, and this is good. So you're asking these questions. So the GM over there was his first year. So he had a lot of leadership to learn. There was a couple guys that were getting tons of yellow slips and there was not any enforcement. And again, maybe that's a lack of me as a regional manager. Like we need to have faster feedback loops. Like if somebody gets one or two, like 2 slips in a week, like unacceptable. Like we need to be putting it on paper, like what's going on. Like not like there was a team member that got 7 yellow slips in 1 month, and I think he got 1 right up. Like at that point, dude, like we're waiting too long to enforce the standards. So there was a lot of like leadership learning that he needed to understand and learn, which he did. He learned, and he had a hard, difficult conversation. And was like, hey, if I have to talk to you again about this, you will not be here. And so like that cultivation and development will need to kind of develop depending on who's that GM over there. And then we raised prices because I think we were up to like 125, 130 clients. But then when we raised prices, we lost like 15 of them to actually get profitable because I think we were charging like 70 an hour, maybe. It was dirt cheap. But we went up to 85 an hour. And then you're going to lose the bottom barrel customers. All that to say, fast forward, the ones that we did retain, 107. So 15,000 divided by, we'll just call it like 60. Yeah, it's about $250 per client is what we paid. Customer acquisition costs, which is reasonable, I think, in a new market, especially where people don't really know you or haven't seen the trucks yet for us.
Yeah. Are you guys breaking even or profiting with the second location yet?
We're on the up and up. We'll see what happens in the wintertime. Our goal is to maintain 50% of the peak revenue. So this year, his peak revenue, I think, was 31,000. But even then, like at 31, 32,000, you're still breaking even, honestly. Like by the time you pay the GM a salary of 60K, like 50K, 55, 60K, like that, it really does eat up the cost. Because I mean, right now, year to date, I think they've made 180K, and I mean 60 of that's going to the GM. That doesn't even mention like the other two full-time employees he's had for the last 6 months. So like again, by the time you factor in the labor, it really, really eats it up. So I don't think you really start making profit until you're hovering or getting close to around that 40K mark.
Yeah.
And that is the goal. That's 2 trucks, fully outfitted, fully staffed, running on all cylinders for 6 straight months. That is the goal. And if you start the location prematurely, it's just going to delay the months for you to get there. And so strategically, I would really like, that would be like, if there would be a green light or a red light, I would say like, if you don't have like at least 10 customers, preferably 15 recurring by like, I don't know, January or February. Like you're gambling a lot on that. But I mean, sometimes, depending on your risk tolerance, I think you have a higher risk tolerance than I do. So
Yeah. Um, would you say it was worth it? The second location?
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were in a good position, and here's the other flip side of it too. I think you are in a good position with the main location, as long as that thing doesn't deteriorate. But it's getting better. I mean, you're like, it's good. You're like, wow, I got 120K in the bank. Feels good, right? Doesn't it? So like, that you got that in your back pocket. That even though one of the locations is sucking, which was occurring to us, it was like not making money and kind of burning money. The other location was keeping things afloat
Right.
for
Yeah, and I
that
mean
period of
it is
time.
a long-term investment if you think about it. Like, yeah, it's gonna suck cash for some time, but of course the goal is to get it to where the first location is, and then I have double the money.
Mhm.
Cool. I'll definitely have to keep in touch with you over time as this goes on, but I'll definitely take with your advice and get some customers out there. Stop turning away people. I
Yeah,
guess.
even if you got to do it, like I wouldn't put that on your team and like deteriorate their performance pay because they got to drive 30 minutes to go mow a lawn, one lawn. You would do that as the owner's investment time, just like you did with the first one. You weren't getting paid. You were just investing your time and resources to build an asset that you own down the road to hopefully reap those rewards.
Yeah. I wonder if I should just wait another year or if I should just say, why not?
I mean, I would say that's up to you. I will say opening a second location and working the kinks out of developing your own first office staff are two big things to juggle while also training a brand new GM that you've never done. Those are three big hurdles that can create a lot of chaos, and growth sucks cash, obviously. I don't think it would be a bad idea. I think it's more of a conservative way, but yeah, I mean, what's hurting you from just starting it now? And if you got to do it one day a week now, and even next maybe spring, you just do it one day a week, or like why can't you just schedule one specific team member to go out there on one specific day, and if they get a yellow slip, guess what, we ain't coming back the next day. We'll be there next week on that normal day. Like there's no, hey, we'll get you in 24. No, it's like this is the only day we're out there, this is the only day we service you know
Yeah, yeah. And I know we spoke about it before. I wonder if it might just be worth it to, even next year just run it out of like the same space. Maybe I find a new shop that's closer. Because like the new service area it's McKinney, and then north of that is Melissa, our current area. We're simply just moving into McKinney, which again is about 25 minutes ish from our shop. From Melissa, it's less than 10 minutes. Our shop's just like on the outer edge north. I wonder if we could just find a shop that's like in Melissa. We could travel to the new location area in 10 minutes, still be within our current locations area, and just run both as a bigger service area. And then at some point, top it off and separate it. We could just get like a shop out there. So it's even more efficient. I don't know.
I think the workaround that you could maybe do, 25 minutes is a while. It's a long drive. Our current shop is about 25 minutes away from the new territory. And when we started the second location, they were driving that 25-30 minutes, and their efficiency score was horrible. Like when you put like it's not good. Labor is the most expensive line item on the P&L. So instead, probably maybe a quicker maybe workaround or something like that. Like, I mean, there's two ideas that I could maybe think of that might be out on a whim depending on your staff and stuff. Like the first thing would be like, why can't we just get like a small unit out there, put a mower, weeder, edger, and blower, and then see the unfortunate thing is they're going to have to come and pick up a truck at the main location and then drive and go pick up the equipment there. Or you let in a team member, which again, depending on how you want to slice this up, maybe if you have a team member that lives in that area, let them take the truck home that one night, and then whereas the next day they start out there. But again, you're like what if the team member leaves and this and that, and then you're still driving 30 minutes. Like it's that I would not recommend. That will not be profitable. You will waste money 100%. So if you could look and just find like a storage unit out there somehow, some way, and then if you could have the crews report there, that would be better. And just be like, hey, I just needed to pick up the equipment over there or something like that. I don't know. That would probably be the best bet. Or you just do it and you just sacrifice, your 1 day a week, which might be after 2 p.m. when they get back with the current truck, and then you get in the truck and you got to drive out there, and it is kind of a waste, like not a waste, but like, I mean, I did it with the second location for I think 4 to 5 months. I built that thing on Fridays by myself, and I only had like 10 or 15 customers. I was the one mowing, weeding, edging, and blowing. I already had a location that was doing 650K, that was doing what it needs. And I would just take 1 day a week on Fridays, take a truck, double up all the other ones. I would borrow a truck from the main location, go out and mow. So like that's what you could do, but like the goal is to get the GM 30 budgeted hours. And the way that you do that is to get about 40-ish recurring clients every week.
So what you're saying is I should just get a unit out there. Well, not now, but next year, get a unit out there, get all the stuff. Now sell and get clients or whatever I got to do to get clients out there, get 10 to 15, and then just have him be out there full time
If you can
starting
get
next spring.
if you can get 15 recurring clients, I would give you the green light and be like, yeah, dude, start the second location next spring.
Yeah.
If you can get 15 clients in the next 90 days, and that means like you're going to pull all of those leads that you decline, say, hey, we now service this area, update Google My Business, get all the reviews, like really like door knock, door hangers, like literally, if you can get 15 recurring customers to start out there, because the whole process thing, dude, is a big thing too. Like you're going to lose clients through the transfer, because you're going to have to create a new CRM. Then you're going to have to transfer them
Exactly.
over. You're going to have to transfer
Yeah.
the cards. You're going to lose 30 to 40% of that. So like really even 15 is kind of slim, honestly. But at least that'd make me feel better. Like 15 people trust you and your business, to where next spring, at least half of those are probably coming back, I would
Well,
think.
I mean, and it's only 15 too. I can just call them up and be like, hey, we just need the new card. Like, it just be quick. I could probably get most of them
Yeah.
and save them, hopefully. Right.
Yeah.
That is a good point, though, because if I like try to do all of next year all in one and then 2027 split it, go new CRM, it's gonna be a freaking nightmare because a lot of those customers are not going to want to stick around with the new, putting in a new card. Because I did that when switching to Copilot. It was crazy.
Yeah.
We lost
Yeah.
so many customers.
I think we lost like 30% or 25 or 30%.
It was nuts. It was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Interesting, man. Like I said, I'll keep in touch with you and see what your thoughts are in the future.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Good stuff. Very good stuff.
Thanks, bro.